Hey, Eric.
Hey, Chris.
Have you ever been to patreon.com/retroam?
I go there all the time and look at the webpage.
Have you ever given us up to $5?
I have not.
If you do that, you get access to mini-series content. One that we have ongoing as you're listening to this podcast is God Hand, a God Bless the Ring mini-series from Retrograde Amnesia where we are exploring the classic beat-em-up games of yore. This time, it's the sequel to Resident Evil 4, God Hand.
Chris, God Hand, the sequel to Resident Evil 4, Shinji Mikami's next game to Resident Evil 4 where you can pummel and smack and chain yank all kinds of bad guys?
You left out spank. You said smack. You want to hear some hot sounds I've recorded?
You mean hot sounds I recorded?
Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast about classic Japanese role-playing games where we discuss them and cover them and opine over them, chapter by chapter, beat by beat. Welcome back to Season 6. We are covering Final Fantasy Tactics and its remaster, remake, enhanced remake. Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions, excuse me. My name is Chris. I'm joined by Eric. Hi, Eric. How are you?
Hot.
Hot?
Hot.
You're hot like you're sweating?
I'm hot like I just ate a spicy burrito. Now I'm ready to spit the fire on the mic, Chris.
Oh, let's spit hot sounds into the microphone and talk about Final Fantasy Tactics. But first, let us introduce the RealNet, a collective of patrons who are listening to us record live. Hello, RealNet. Thank you for joining us today on this secret video feed at youtube.com/numbersandletters.
We're also joined by the Fake Net, our post-production AI companion who can drive on the ceiling and the ground in roll cage.
Initializing fake net. This podcast makes me feel like I can't tell which way is up. So why not drive a car that can't figure it out either?
Cool. What's that?
It's a PS1 game where your car has wheels that are on both sides and you can go around like tubes and shit.
Was that a long box?
No. Roll Cage was 99, 2000.
Oh, okay.
As well as its sequel, Roll Cage 2.
Oh.
And its PS4 pseudo-sequel, Grip.
Oh, I've heard of that before.
Really?
I've heard of Grip before.
I reviewed it on the internet. You can Google my name as well as Grip and check it out. Well, Chris, we're not talking about that game today. We're talking about Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yes, where we last left off, we just met our new buddy, August/Argath. Is that what it's called, Argath?
Yeah, I have to go. Are we going to settle on one of those?
You say Argath, I'll say August.
Okay, that's really...
Everyone will know exactly what we're talking about.
Totally. We value clarity here at Retrograde Amnesia.
If I'm not mistaken, we were en route to Eagrose Castle, which I believe starts with an I in my case and an E in your case.
Eagrose. But first, every time we go to the world map, Chris, where that world map music plays, I have to go recruit somebody else.
Initializing fake net. Listeners, you heard this story in the previous episode. The boys, Moppets themselves, have baby brains and forgot they already did this part. Let's let them have their fun and tell it again.
Oh, yeah. I've also been to the soldier office lately, too.
Oh, the Warriors Guild.
Yes.
Right. I got Reinhold. He's a Virgo with 50 bravery and 70 faith.
Okay.
And I rename him Godsmack.
Oh, great. Okay. He's not the one who's so far away.
When he feels the snake bite enter his vein.
Yes. I'm glad you knew the next line because I didn't.
Any recruiting you want to tell me about, or are we going to go ahead and head to Eagrose Castle?
Yeah, I have hired both two new male squires to my team named Horst and Lester.
Very good.
Who have joined me. I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to value in the statistical realm at this point in time, but both of them did have over 70 brave stat.
Did you pay attention to their astrological sign?
I did not. Should I?
I did, and I kept reloading guys until I got some that had good compatibility with my Ramza, but I should have maintained my core belief system, which is not respecting astrological signs.
So I've always respected the mechanics of Final Fantasy Tactics, but I have always ignored the Zodiac stuff.
Should you not respect stuff that doesn't respect your time?
I think that's a perfect way to live.
Just in general?
In general. But I do think that I will try to study up on the Zodiac stuff because I don't really quite understand why it's there or what it does and how the game indicates how it's helping me or hurting me.
I could be wrong about this, but I think from memory, compatibility with Ramza increases the chances of lucky things happening or not, damage taken. I could be completely wrong about this because it's all from memory.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll look into that. I did do a little bit of studying of the Blade when it comes to the Brave system. I looked into what Brave means.
And Brave is different from Faith, or do you mean bravery?
Oh, you have bravery?
Yes.
I have brave. Just brave. I did an extensive deep dive on it, but I want to slowly roll out this knowledge based on where we're at in the game. And so early on, I found that brave impacts the damage of some weapon attacks, like the knight's sword, a barehanded fist, or a katana.
Things you have to be brave to use, physical attacks.
Yes, it also triggers the likelihood of reaction skills, like counter. There's a couple of other reaction skills that we get later. I think the ninja has one, but counter is the most common one that you see at this point in time. I don't know what character class gets that, but we'll find out sooner or later. So anyway, I like my brave lads here. My brave lads, Lester and Hornst, are ready to go.
When Hornst dies, are you going to go recruit Arnst?
Arnst was my mispronunciation of Hornst, right?
Yes.
Okay. And no, last time Hornst died, I'll reset the game.
Just say, this is a game with permadeath for your homies.
Yeah.
And are you going to live and die by the sword, or are you going to live and die by optimizing your playthrough with careful saving and resets?
It depends on how much time I have to do those tasks in my daily life. But I do resolve to be transparent on what happens along the way. I did check into my injured and my casualties, which the game tracks for you in the menu.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have one casualty. I have one guy that has died by this point in the game. And I figured out who it was. It was our boy Rad/Lad has perished already.
Lad's already died?
Yes.
Wasn't that in the opening of the game?
Yeah. So, time paradox.
Snake, what have you done? You changed the future. You've created a time paradox.
Yeah, that's a time paradox because I'm already there at my playthrough and Lad is already on board. So I'm curious if they'll canonize your playthrough and keep killing Lad.
I wonder if we have to replay that section when we get there in the timeline. I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, anyway, anything else that you've done before we go to the next section of the game?
That's it. My main goal in not only this RPG, but all of them is to spend as little time as I can in the menus fiddling with shit.
That's like half this game.
I understand that. That's why it's a challenge for me to play this, Chris.
So you've done at this point, before Eagrose Castle, you've done no job changing or anything like that yet?
No, not at this point.
Yeah, neither have I. I think it helps to keep your guys squires for a little bit so they can at least acquire some of the basic squire skills.
Well, that's not entirely... Godsmack I made into a chemist.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
After his first squire battle. So I could have potions to use on people to fucking heal them.
Yeah. I guess we could talk about this now, but as you master job classes, you can use those abilities in conjunction with other job classes.
Right. And you can assign pretty much one ability from that job class to any job class. There's a slot for it where you assign things.
Yes.
And accessing jobs and abilities all just dives several layers deep into the menu. And if you don't know those options are there, you're not necessarily good at poking around for things, you don't know they exist.
Yeah, it's not a great user experience.
If this game is remade, and I know people who play these games value getting deep in the menus that, but there's so much shit in this game to keep track of. And until you acclimate to it, it can be a very rough experience.
Yes.
Kind of like going to Eagrose Castle.
Yeah.
Music, Zalbag?
Zabag.
The Holy Knight plays. Ramza, Delita, and Argath that office are seated at a table with Lord Dystarg Beov.
Yes. This music, by the way, sounds like Tactics music. Do you remember the song Tactics from Suikoden?
2.
And the song Tactics from Star Ocean?
No, I remember more Anxiety from Star Ocean and Anxiety from Suikoden and Anxiety from Xenogears.
I think this has an Anxiety as well.
There's a song called, I think, Memories in this game that is just like Suikoden 2's Beautiful Morning, and it fucks me up.
Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, but with cutesy sprites sitting at a cutesy table, it's nice and cozy in here, don't you? Did you like it? This game has some good cozy sprite staging.
The way that the isometric thing is situated and the coziness of the sprites makes me want a chess set of these fuckers.
Yeah, that would be perfect. What are your first impressions of Dice Dog before he even starts talking? We're just seeing that portrait.
Rich asshole.
Oh man, he seems like he's ripe with some level of charisma.
I mean, portrait, they all seem to have the same face that are chopped and screwed a little bit.
Yeah.
Based on different characteristics. They just do, it's like a me face that they just add different facial hair and eyes to.
Yes, never knows.
Fine. Never knows, no. Yes. But it helps. To me, it's not as, I wish, maybe this isn't true, but I feel like you can get random recruits that look just like Dystarg.
Yes, close.
Dystarg congratulates Ramza on his victory decorations. They sing your praise from on high. You do honor our name, my brother. And to me.
Huh.
Ramza tells Dystarg he's very glad, but Dystarg doesn't believe that shit. Ramza tries to further explain himself. I am, forgive me. Your words do me far more honor than Thaudalsif has done you. No doubt word has already reached you, but the Marquis de Linbury's carriage was waylaid, and the Marquis was taken. What have you have mind to do?
Can we get a definition, a defining of waylaid?
My next question was, Chris, have you ever been waylaid?
Read the sentence one more time, please.
No doubt word has already reached you, but the Marquis de Linbury's carriage was waylaid, and the Marquis was taken. What have you mind to do?
Thrown off course, maybe?
Attacked by burglars, or street toughs, or ruffians.
That's what it means?
The carriage, I don't know. The carriage was waylaid, and the Marquis was taken. Like, got fucked up.
Oh, okay. Do we want to ask the fake net for an actual definition?
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Initializing fake net. To lie in wait for or attack someone from ambush.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I told you that's what it was. Dystarg, though, has a plan. I've already asked Zalbag to dispatch a squad in pursuit. These brigands must eventually come forth to demand ransom, that is, assuming the Marquis yet lives. But Argath, man, he gets up, bows his head, and unleashes my favorite line in the game so far. I beg of you, Lord Beolv, lend me 100 men that I might hunt the whoresons down.
Whoresons?
Whoresons.
Whoresons, is that an insult?
Yes.
All right.
The Final Fantasy Tactics Ye Olde English Insults Power Ranking.
Where do you rank whore? I'm pretty sure whore has fallen out of vernacular for sex worker, Chris. I don't think I may have had to just bleep that. I don't know. You can't do that anymore.
I only know this because of Weird Al, but...
Okay. All great knowledge.
But I believe the word whore is used in the musical Hamilton.
Sure. But thank you.
I don't know. Anyway, so what was the term again? Whoreson?
Whoresons.
It's like son of a bitch, right?
Son of a sex worker? I mean, bitch isn't necessarily the same as whore, is it?
Well, I'm talking about like the intent of the insult.
Sons of bitches?
Yes.
Do you have what it was in yours?
Yeah. He said, Highness, please let me have 100 soldiers. Dystarg, of course, hits him with dots. Then he says, I beg you, let me avenge my comrade's murder. That's all he says.
Would you rather avenge your comrade's murder or hunt the whoresons down, Chris?
I think I want to hunt the whoresons down.
I also would like to hunt whoresons.
It jives pretty well with like the personality that we're seeing from Argath.
Yeah, Argath is a piece of shit from day one, man.
Yeah. And not only is he's dead serious. You can tell he's serious just by the way the dialogue is written in both cases. And when he stands up and like bows his head, they even like have a kind of a crunchy sound effect like in his movements. Like he's rummaging, like he's like, you know, when you stand up and the chair kind of like slams back a little bit. Yeah. It's, all that's going on.
Argath to me is Captain Tryhard. Really wants to just go 100%, impress the nobility, be a good pet.
So I think I want to put, going back to the whoresons, right?
Oh yeah, whoresons. Where are we going to put whoresons?
I want to put it below moppets, but above wench and squealer. So it'd be vulgar knave, lackwits, moppets, whoresons, wench, squealer.
I would like to put it above moppets. I think the profanity adjacentness of whoresons, that's probably the third time in my life that I've heard the word whoreson. I've heard moppet a lot because the fake net calls us that sometimes.
As necessitated by your infantile antics and your puerile sense of humor.
Okay. Is that one word, by the way?
Whoresons, yeah.
Okay. So,
and you have to plural. It was used in the plural, so you need to write it down as multiple.
All right. So that leaves us with, from top to bottom, we have vulgar knave, lackwits, whoresons, moppets, wench, and squealer as our power ranking of insults in Final Fantasy Tactics.
Are we just going to, rather than have a character battle this season, just battle the...
There's a lot of good characters in here, but by the time we get to the end of this, are we going to say all these characters are exactly the same?
Maybe, or just assign insults to the characters. That could be a good thing too.
We'll workshop that idea.
Dystarg no-sells Argath's request with some dots, and then Argath begs once more, but then Dystarg lays it down hard. Mayhap your ears fail you. I said that a squad is to be dispatched. You are not a man of Gaillon. Leave her affairs to those of us who are.
Please let us handle it.
Fucking mayhaps your ears fail you is another good sentence.
Yes.
Argath cannot believe that shit. Dystarg basically gives him a don't ask me for shit line. Do not assume to beg favors of me. Let me remind you, Argath, lest you forget your place. You are but another sword, not yet even knighted.
Interesting. So in the PlayStation 1 version, he says, think of your rank, August. Have you forgotten you're just a soldier without rank of knighthood? Just a soldier without rank of knighthood, is that an insult?
It's too verbose.
Okay, I think you're right. Now that I say it aloud, I don't think it's an insult. He is sort of being insulting, but he's not trying to insult him. He's just being like, you are you have not leveled up in the cop guild enough yet in order to be assigned 100 men.
Right. And that's how Dystarg talks all the time because he is of the king nobility. This reduces Argath to the dots, and he sits his ass down. Dystarg tells Ramza and Delita to rest here and defend Igros, serving as the castle guard. Chris, is that a fucking stay back and guard the base command?
It is stay back and guard the base. I mean, we are the cadets still, right? So it makes sense.
Fade out, fade in, Eagrose Castle music, Alma's theme plays.
Mm-hmm.
Ramza, Delita, and Argath are outside Eagrose Castle, walking above an arch and surrounded by greenery and canals.
Is this a thinking bridge?
It could be.
Okay.
We're on the bridge and we're doing some thinking.
Yeah.
We're not doing reflecting, we're thinking.
Yes. Good.
A wounded Argath stops, bows his head, and unloads one. My own house was once respected as highly as House Beowulf, at least until my grandfather was captured during the war. He turned traitor, thinking to buy his freedom with the lives of his friends. But his freedom scarce outlived his honor. He was not a dozen paces out of their gate when the dagger found his back. Killed by some common squire, no more a knight than I. One of the men he betrayed later escaped and spread word of his misdeeds. My lord father would have none of it, of course, but he was the only one. Our bannermen deserted us, our reputation ruined.
There's so many more words there than there are.
Yeah.
I'm reading it. I'm like, what the hell?
I mean, that basically is summarized. His grandfather was captured, he talked, and then he got shivved on his way out.
Yes.
And
basically.
that is like how to disgrace your house 101 type there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that definitely happens here.
Does this explain the chip on Argath's shoulder to restore his house to nobility by himself?
Yeah, and I think that usually when someone is driven to restore the honor of their house, it almost always goes too far.
Oh, yeah, they overcompensate.
Yeah, they overcompensate, and some of their worst traits are revealed because they are obsessed with that idea. And very quickly, we've known Argath for like
20 minutes.
20 minutes. I mean, we can already see where his arc is headed.
His Argath. Quick question. Do Delita and Argath have angry Kirby eyes?
In their sprites?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I forget if it's, I think Kirby in Japan has angry eyes on the cover art sometimes.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Ratchet has weird eyebrows on Japanese cover art.
I know that, I do agree that Argath does. I don't know about Delita. I'm going to have to look again.
It's like a permanently furrowed brow.
Yeah. A lot coming across in the relatively small sprites there.
Argath isn't as flowery with his language, and I wonder, is that a deliberate decision that he isn't as refined and highborn as the rest of the fuckers we've been speaking to?
Mm-hmm.
You think that's a choice? Like, or am I reading too much into that? Is this game that smart? Maybe in my localization?
I don't know. I guess we just have to pay attention to it. Like, from my perspective, he's talking just like everybody else.
Okay. So. To me, like, Dystarg has like 1 or 2 levels of noble speak ahead of Argath.
Yeah.
My dude then throws a rock in the water before continuing. I supposed I had best remember my place. Your lord brother has no reason to lend an ear to pleas from the likes of me. I
love the fact that he picks up the rock and throws it.
Yeah, man.
It's such a great little flourish that this game, these little things, and the game has done it a lot, even when he stood up at the table earlier. This game has done these little sprite animations to make you really create some level of drama in these scenes, and I have no memory of any of this sprite work. Like, all the Suikoden 2 stuff stood out to me. I remembered that all that was going to happen, but in this game, no, I don't remember any of this.
They do a lot with a little as far as how well the sprites are rendered.
Yeah.
Argath then looks down. Neither Delita nor Ramza respond to anything he said, which makes me think Argath is our loser-coded character. Our mixture of Hammer the Supplier and Alan Ridgely, and I think there is a greater than 50% chance Argath continues to feel slighted and underappreciated and betrays the cause at some point.
Is he going to come back later dressed as a giant robot? Probably not.
He could know. Does he get the first mech? Does he get the Magicite fucking...
I don't think Alan Ridgely is going to have a fall in Xenosaga, but it would be cool if he did.
Yeah.
It would be bold.
Instead, someone named Tietra Hiral yells Delita's name from off screen.
What? Who?
Tietra Hiral, Delita's sister.
Oh, I have a voice of young girl, but yes, you're right. Okay.
The boys turn around and find Tietra in a red dress, waving at them.
Tietra? There's an R there?
Yes.
Oh, I have Teta.
Teta? That sounds vulgar, Chris.
It does sound, yeah. Huh.
I'm not saying that name.
Yeah, fine. Tetra went... Tetra?
Tetra. Tietra.
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 Tietra. Okay.
Like theater, but no H.
Not like Tetra the...
Fuck it, her name's Tetris, okay?
Master.
Her name's Tetris now. See what you've done? Her name's Tetra.
Okay, go ahead.
Alma and Zalbag are standing behind them. Fucking... Is Zalbag even a real name? I can't believe a fucking dude is named Zalbag. The newcomers merrily hop over the canals to join our party for a rich and lively conversation.
Everyone can hop rivers, even little sisters.
And I wrote this down to remind myself. Tietra is Delita's sister, whereas Alma and Zalbag are Ramza's siblings?
Yes.
Okay.
You got it.
Zalbag yasses his boy on making short work of those brigands. Now you are truly the right to call yourself a Beelv. Father would be proud. Father, Chris, if your sons killed some whoresons, would you be proud?
In the name of the honor of my house, yes.
Okay. No, that follows it.
What if they, like, dunk on somebody? Like with a basketball? Is that
if
the
your
same
son
as
elevates to a 10-foot basket at age 9, yeah, that'd be fucking tight.
Well, I mean, that's not going to happen, but you know what I mean.
You could.
Yeah.
Get a trampoline out there.
Break some kid's ankles.
Break your teeth on the rim.
All right.
Ramza says thank you, but Zalbag continues with the yucks. Ha, you certainly haven't changed. Gods forbid you show a bit of cheer on being praised. And you, Delita, do not think word of your deeds escapes our ears. Your sister has been so full of pride, I quite feared she might burst.
Oh.
Sister might burst, Chris.
In my game, Zalbag merely says, just look at how happy Teta is.
Tietra commands her bro to worry not, as her seams have been held. Because she was about to burst, so her seams of her dress have held from...
Yeah.
Delita asks Alma how school is going, my favorite topic among JRPG conversations.
How's school going? Fine.
Well,
how's school going? Fine.
Good. Will anyone in this game ever talk about school ever again?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
I think a war is brewing, so, you know.
School's canceled. Zalbag moves to exit the conversation in a manner that I wish to use to exit all further conversations.
I also wrote this down too, Eric.
Really?
Yes.
You read your line first.
I'd like to talk more with you, but I must hunt down some thieves. Pardon me.
That's good, and it's completely different from mine.
Okay.
But you could, as a good thing to say at a party.
Yes.
Mine is, would that we could speak at greater leisure, but there are duties that require my attendance. Rogues do not catch themselves.
That's really good.
I could turn around.
Excuse me, everybody. I must go catch some thieves. I am the police.
You know who would work really well in this game is the second iteration of the actual Hunter Hearst Helmsley, when he was doing that privileged butler thing with the tied ponytail. And
I don't remember that at all.
It's where Hunter Hearst Helmsley, he was this aristocratic character before he became Triple H.
Gotcha.
Look up pictures of that. He would fit in Final Fantasy fucking Tactics.
Yes, the Retrograde Amnesia, the first podcast to ever deem that Triple H should be in Final Fantasy Tactics. You heard it here first.
Not Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Pardon.
Thank you.
Pardon.
Different guy. Different gimmick. Zalbag turns around, waves to no one, hops over the canal, and then tells us, we received a note of ransom from the Corpse Brigade. Zalbag turns back around and continues, something about it sits unwell with me. They are anarchists, to be sure, bent on bringing down the aristocracy. But they fancy themselves righteous and prey only on the nobility and those in our employ. Would such as they truly kidnap the marquis for want of coin?
For want of coin.
For want of coin.
So I think what he's saying here is that he is having a hard time believing that these proletariat fighters are out here simply kidnapping nobles for money. He thinks that they have a greater cause.
Yes, a legitimate political grievance to upset the aristocracy.
Yeah. For want of coin. Not for want of coin.
Argath replies, why wouldn't they? They're not, but common footpads.
Common footpads!
The Final Fantasy Tactics Ye Olde English Insults Power Ranking.
Footpad noun, a highwayman operating on foot rather than riding a horse.
I was going to posit that a footpad was something that you put on your feet to soak up the blood from the blisters or something.
Yeah, because you can't afford rich guy shoes.
Yes, exactly.
They haven't invented the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3 yet for the medieval times.
No, I got some right there. By the way, in PlayStation 1 version, he simply calls them knaves.
Yeah, been there, already used knaves.
Yes. Do you think they Control F knaves in the script and just put in all these?
And had a list of
shit?
75. Yeah.
First instinct is to put common footpad at number 1. I love common footpad.
I like common footpad a whole lot, and it was the foundational idea for this list.
Do you like it more than a vulgar knave?
I like it more than everything but whoreson, just because it's so fucking vulgar. But I understand that is not a consensus that whoreson had, and I like it more than vulgar knave.
Okay.
Common footpad.
Common footpad.
Common footpad.
Vaults to number 1 in our power ranking of Ye Olde English insults here on Retrograde Amnesia.
Zalbag tells the gang he put a spy of his own in the Corpse Brigade, but that spy is not returned. And Chris, that spy is going to be a guy. I can feel it.
Oh, a guy. Like a proper noun guy?
Like a guy we're going to meet later with a name.
Gotcha.
Zalbag then brags about his code of ethics. detailing why some might not concern themselves with the missing man of this nature, but he does. He's built different. Ramza asks where this guy is, and I've immediately changed my mind about Zalbag because he's going to bait our boys into doing this shit for him. Zalbag replies, a merchant city named Dorder in eastern Galleon is, okay,
Galleon.
Galleon. I made a Y out of the L's earlier, but it's Galleon.
That's what it looks like to me.
A merchant city named Dorder in eastern Galleon, guarding a castle grows dreadfully dull. Wouldn't you agree? Zalbag turns back around and exits. Argath walks right and looks out into the distance. Ramza apologizes to Alma for having to leave again so soon. Tietra, in her purple dress, says, don't worry a shit about me, just take care of yourself. Then they hug and kiss. There's a kiss sound effect.
Oh, there was a kiss sound effect.
There's a kiss sound effect.
Really?
We just heard it. Who kissed what? You're doing some sister kissing?
I mean,
friendly sister kiss. Chris, you have a sister. When's the last time you kissed her?
Never.
Ooh, nice. Girls have cooties.
Yeah, maybe it's just like a kiss on the cheek kind of thing.
Yeah, middle-aged people do it all the time. But see, there's also a lot of incest.
Middle-aged people?
The middle-aged, medieval.
Middle-aged. Oh, well, this is not Earth.
Okay, buddy. I'll believe you just this once.
This is Evilise, right? The customs could be completely different.
Delita tells Tetra to mind her studies, that he'll be back before she's even noticed he's gone, and my immediate thought is, Chris, this motherfucker is never coming back. They hug more, then Delita, Tietra, and Argath trot off. But Alma stops and speaks to Ramza. She says Tietra puts on a brave face, but the truth is not as honeyed as her words.
Honeyed.
You ever honey a word? Sweeten it up, Chris? Chris, what words have you honeyed?
What words have I honeyed?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Have you honeyed some words up? Have you had to break some bad news and said it politely?
I think if you feed this podcast to an AI, you can probably find a circumstance of me honeying up a word.
It's the word fuck followed by the word
Fuck 'em.
Ramza inquires further, and Alma responds with boring fancy lad drama. She has a hard time at school. The others tease her for being lowborn. Chris, even as a middle-class kid who went to a rich kid school, I think this level of class warfare sucks. Give me something more interesting. Alma immediately apologizes for bothering Ramza with this wankery. She says Tietra will be all right. I'm here to look after her. Ramza goes on to state the antithesis of a JRPG hero. An admission and outlook I am sure will change as this game goes on. He says, then there is naught to worry about, but mind your own limits. You can't be responsible for everything.
Oh, that is much more of a cosmic presence than what he says in my game. He just says, I'm not worried, but don't you overdo it.
Yeah.
But in this case, it does seem like he is throwing out the antithesis. Isn't that kind of what he said in the manual, in his manual profile picture?
That was his thing. He is like, is he or is he not a hero of destiny?
I don't think we can make that, well, I was going to say I don't think we can make that judgment until he has his hero turn, but also there's zodiac symbols in this game, so yes.
Yeah. I just want to see if Tactics plays with that idea and that statement, because it lines up with the prologue where it looked like Ramza quit this night shit to be a merc.
Yeah.
Alma checks Ramza, kind of rejecting it already. She says the brother who never fails to do any and all that is expected of him. Don't lose sight of yourself, Ramza. You needn't let your life be ruled by the fact that you were born a Bilv. So she just stated his entire mission statement, basically.
Yeah.
You don't have to live up to your name, bud. You can just leave.
Yeah. Just be a guy.
Ramza tells Alma that she sounds like their mother.
Ha 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 ha.
Ramza turns and walks off. The music stops and the window begins to blow.
The window.
Wind.
The dark wind begins to howl. Excuse me, Eric. This is dark wind howling in a JRPG. What does that mean?
That someone's going to clasp their hand as her dress blows in the wind and the scene ends before we can develop an incest-ridden Oedipal complex?
I was going to say it's an omen. It's a dark omen.
Okay, Oedipal complex is an omen of its own.
Do you think this is the last time that Ramza is going to see Alma? Or like the next time he sees Alma, the circumstances are going to be much more dire.
Stuff's going to be fucked. Yeah, we're definitely bidding good. Like, I'm glad that the game did insert a return home thing pretty quick in the first chapter. Yeah,
like how does he get from here to Sellsword?
Yeah, no kidding.
Really interesting.
World map, music world map plays. Let's go back to Magic City, Garyland.
Yeah, did you stop in the shop and buy some long swords for Hornston Lester like I did?
No, I took Argath off and gave it to Korn.
What is Argath going to use?
I don't care. I want him to die.
Oh, he's useful, though.
Not for me.
He's a useful decoy.
No,
although in one battle, he used all my potions in one of the battles.
There you go. See, you need to disarm him from all of his resources immediately,
Chris. Meat tanking out there. You know?
That's fine. Let him die every single battle. He'll get back up.
By the way, I also went, when I was in the process of making sure that my guys were properly outfitted, I went to the shop where you can go to fitting room.
Mm-hmm.
You click like best fit and it'll give you the best items for that character.
Optimize.
Is that what you have?
It is.
That's what they called it in Final Fantasy VI in the original localization, so I don't know why they didn't do it here.
Thanks, Ted.
Anyway, I have that, but also when it's time to resolve my purchases here, I have two options, and I don't know which one to choose because they are quit fitting or fitting over.
God damn it.
Which I think is how I communicate with my children. It's like quit fitting or fitting over.
Pick one. Fitting over now.
I think fitting over is the one that I have to click to make my purchase.
I believe it is the original Rampage. I think it's the original Rampage Rampage is a game on NES where you basically do the same fucking thing over and over for like 4 hours until you kill all the United States.
Yeah.
And I think there's maybe it's a remake or something, but there's a pause and you can exit or continue or something like that. But I paused it, went to go do something else, then came back down and forgot what color was which.
What color was which?
Like exit and continue is white versus
which
red.
one was the highlighted one?
Yeah. And I was in if I fuck up, I end my 3-hour game and I got my juice box and I can't finish it and I fucked it up. So it's a very similar situation for you where it's like...
Never know if I should quit fitting or my fitting is over.
Fuck.
Anyway.
Goddamn video game. So next something happens that I don't think's in your game. Because pub plays and I'm at the bar, Ramza approaches the bartender, but we also get to listen into the conversation between two bar patrons at a nearby table.
Really?
It's quickly apparent, Chris, that these guys are low-born goofuses. One blindly asks, "Did you notice?" as the other responds, "Notice what? How am I supposed to notice if you don't tell me what I'm supposed to look at?" The other responds, "The menu, you clod. Take a look."
Claude. Hey, can we rank Claude?
The Final Fantasy Tactics Ye Olde English insults power ranking.
Clod, noun, a stupid person, often used as a general term of abuse.
I think I just want to put Claude at the bottom, really.
Yeah, C-L-O-D. Claude.
All right. We're up to 8 insults already. It's pretty
There's
good.
a lot in this game because it's a verbose game. What does Final Fantasy Tactics have if not its words?
Yes.
It's tactics, that's what. Mm-hmm. He calls out new words, sounding out both melee and rendezvous. Melee are battles for sparring to test out your sword arm. Friendly challenges too. No worries of getting left to feed the worms. Rendezvous is multiplayer shenanigans.
Oh, this is PSP stuff.
This is PSP shit.
Okay, I was like, did I miss something?
And that's it. It was just a tutorial to let you know what that shit is.
Cool. So a rendezvous, what was the first one?
Melee and rendezvous.
So melee is like you can just go fight guys?
I think it's practicing. I haven't actually done it yet.
You level up that way?
Actually, one of them might be cooperative battles and one might be competitive.
Gotcha.
With multiplayer.
Yeah. So now we're going to continue to head eastward, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go to the Siedge Weald.
What?
Siedgeweald.
The Siedge Weald.
That's not what I have, Eric.
What's it called in your game, Chris?
It's called the Swiggy Woods.
The Swiggy Woods?
Swiggy.
The Swiggy Woods.
Oh, what does that mean?
Swiggy?
Yeah.
I don't know what Swiggy means. It kind of sounds like spooky, but not quite.
Okay, Swiggy. Let's get swiggy with it. Commence battle. Fuck it.
We are met in battle by monsters.
Run past the plane plays.
Run past through the plane, excuse me, Eric, is what it's called.
I see a bomb who I know is just going to self-destruct and fuck me up.
Yeah, we've got
some goblin folk.
Yep, goblins, bombs, and they're called red panthers, those little 4-legged creatures. What are they called in your version?
Don't have that listed here, Chris.
Oh, we should figure that out at some point.
It is also Red Panther.
All the classic Final Fantasy monsters are here to let us know that we are indeed playing Final Fantasy.
Do you think Goblin will execute their trademark move, Goblin Punch? Enemy skill, Chris. Argath
It's called Goblin Punch?
In most Final Fantasy games, yeah.
Oh.
They have boxing gloves on.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
Sentient beings were just slaughtering out in the woods.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Argath opens our fight with a banger. Our luck is ill, that we should chance upon fiends such as these in the wood.
What rotten luck meeting monsters in a place like this?
Chris, what kind of fiends have you chanced upon in the wood?
In the wood?
Yeah. Well, Chris, what I've chanced upon in the wood, and I'll take you there one day, is in the nearby Jefferson Memorial Forest. On the red trail, if you look in the right spot, you can see a junkyard surrounded by woods in the middle of the wood with a giant crane that mashes all this shit down.
That's fucking cool.
It's wonderful. I tried to look at it on Google Earth and can't find it.
Today, I just thought of this. Today, I saw there was a very large open field, and it was quite sunny today. It was cool, but it was quite sunny. And there were 2 vultures standing in the middle of the field.
Fuck yeah.
Drying their wings.
Yeah.
With their wings
extended.
Out. Yes.
Just had them open.
But it wasn't, but there was just nothing else around them. They were just standing. They looked more like they were just basking in the majesty of this open field. It was wonderful.
Not going to kill myself, but if I do, it'd be out by that vulture tree so they can eat me.
Yeah. Cool, I guess.
Nobody can stop me, Chris.
Okay.
They'll get something in their bellies.
I have a question for you, Eric.
Yeah.
What do you know about chemists?
They have potions.
Cool.
They're bad at attacking. They wear a little hat.
What's good about their item ability, though, Eric?
It can heal me from death.
Yeah, but they can throw potions.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they have range.
God damn it.
You don't have to walk. If you're a chemist, you can be far away.
Oh, yeah, no, I knew that. Okay.
Okay.
For some reason, I was thinking like physically throw them and hit. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah. They can have like within square. Yes.
So if you bring that item ability over to another class, it cannot throw them. It can just use it on an adjacent character.
That's good.
So, but chemists are important to have, especially early in the game, because most of the magical classes require a job level 2 of chemist before you can become a black mage or a white mage.
It's important to do kind of take a survey course of most of these classes so they can bloom and blossom into other classes.
Yes, indeed.
Engage true class warfare. Chris.
Oh, sorry, we have more dialogue. Let's continue.
Delita responds with some sass. Some of us prefer fiends in the wood to a dull watch in the castle garrets, Argath. Argath throws it back in his face. And some of us are not so quick to jape in danger's face.
Jape in danger's face.
Ramza tells us to shut the fuck up. They're about to attack, and off we go. This fight took me a very long time because all I'm doing is kind of moving around and poking people for 10 to 15 damage.
Yeah, you probably should
stop being squires. Working on it.
I think you can still be squires at this point in the game, but maybe you haven't upgraded your equipment yet or something. Is that possible?
I bought all I can afford.
You haven't done all your.
There's not a lot to like buy yet. Like there's some I think leather armlet stuff like that, but like. I took Argath came with good gear, and I took all that shit off and put it on Ramza. Yeah. Like, he's out there naked, bro. Cool. I don't care. I want him to die. I don't need his help.
So you kept Ramza as a squire for a while?
Yeah.
Him and Delita both have additional squire abilities they can unlock. I think the most important ones to get, in my opinion, I don't know if this is common, but I like getting the guts move called Yell.
Do you have it?
Yes. Guts. Which allows him to increase his speed at no penalty, and also accumulate, which allows him to increase his physical attack. But most importantly, it gives you something to do to get job and experience points if you don't have anything else to do at the end of that turn.
Is accumulate the one I have that's called JP up? That I was like 200 job points. I bought it and it increases the number of job points I get in each battle.
No, accumulate is something that increases my physical damage. I don't know what it's called in yours, but...
Well, I did that, and I think move, which gives me +1 move spaces.
Oh, cool. So, yeah, we just fight these monsters. I don't really have anything else to say about them.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting to have not much to say about something that took me, I don't know, 30 minutes, but there we are.
It happens. Victory music. Congratulations, bonus money, 1,200 gil.
Money means nothing to me. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I did do some time, spend some time after this battle playing.
Do some time is different than spending time.
I did some time in the menus. Actually, being in the menus in this game is kind of like...
doing time.
Is doing time a little bit. Before we proceeded to the next battle, I decided to walk back and forth from Eagrose Castle and the Swiggy Woods so that I could trigger a couple of random battles.
To level up?
Yes, which is what I did there. And I upgraded class job changed it. Mm-hmm. Job changed it? Is that how we say it?
If you can say however you want, buddy. It's your podcast.
Hornston Lester to Archer and Knight, respectively.
You know what's funny? I tried to make someone an archer at some point, but I couldn't find anybody to sell me a fucking bow.
Only one of the towns that we have access to at this point has one.
Okay. I assumed all towns, like the store was just updated at a certain point in the game and all. So I have to walk back across the fucking map if I'm going to go buy.
Eagrose Castle is the one that has a crossbow, I think.
Well, never mind. Nobody's going to be an archer in my game.
Also, I made Cindy what they call a wizard, which is actually a black mage. They localized it as wizard, which is very, very upsetting. It's called black mage in yours, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's called wizard and priest in this, which sucks. Call it a black mage.
Light side.
This is Final Fantasy.
Dark side. We're not going to make it to Dorter, are we?
We're not going to make it to Dorter, but we are going to consult the heroes and wizards of the RealNet.
Initializing RealNet.
Hi, RealNet. Thank you for joining us on this rather impromptu. I know impromptu, but how do you change that to an adverb?
You don't. You just respect the original word.
An impromptly. No, that wouldn't work. Scheduled podcast. Butt Salad says, Chris's wife must be calling to demand a detailed breakdown of the Xenosaga story.
That's usually why my wife calls me at work.
Yeah. This is a reference to our popular wife cast where we explain the entire plot of one of the games that we have covered to our spouses in a single session. It's wonderful.
From memory.
From memory, usually. Yeah, sometimes we use a outline, but, Dill666 Rose says, I think it was Grid. I think I had it. I remember playing Grid and Uncharted and being pretty impressed by how shiny my new PS3 is.
Grid
Eric means grip.
came out in like 2018. There is a similar game that came out for PS3. There was.
I think that's what I'm thinking of too.
Yeah.
It was
like a Rocket League prototype.
Was it like in the same era when like Blur came out and stuff like that, or is that a different?
Blur was 2010.
Oh, okay.
And 4 years later, I love Blur.
I know nothing
Blur
about
was
racing
good.
games. Dragonzord says there is something to do with certain zodiac signs working for and against other signs. There is a specific sign that you can set Ramza that helps with some of the boss fights.
Most zodiacs, my favorite is the one that features Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo and Jake Gyllenhaal.
The Zodiac, the movie?
Yeah, David Fincher directed it. It's
yeah,
quite wonderful.
I saw it in theaters.
So did I. We may have seen it together.
Probably. That makes it sound like Pokemon, like type stuff, type advantages. Dragonzord says horse nuns, not horse sons, horse nuns. That'd be pretty funny too.
Horses have their own religions, Chris. We live in Kentucky.
Butt Salad says Eric has Argath's number from minute 1.
I have not looked anywhere. Like, I have no idea what any of these characters do or go on to, but I think probably based on reputation, the PSP version might be foreshadowing a little too thick.
Yeah. Equal to Ted. I think Equal to Ted must be a new RealNet member. Welcome to the RealNet Equal to Ted.
Ted Woolsey or Ted from Suikoden? Who can say?
Hopefully Ted Woosley, because Ted from Suikoden, I don't know about that guy. They leaned into the regal/lordly/flowery speech in the War of the Lions translation hard. It puts Vagrant Story to shame.
Vagrant Story was an Alexander O. Smith joint, wasn't it?
Probably. Grace Wanderer says Corpse Brigade is an amazing punk band name.
It is pretty good.
Equal to Ted says Welcome to the Corpse Brigade would be my favorite My Chemical Romance song. Butt Salad says this is fantasy France and the French always give a little cheek smooch to say goodbye.
That makes sense.
There you go. What will you do without Butt Salad? Grace Wanderer says it's okay to show affection, stop being puritanical.
I regret the error. You're right. Show affection in whatever
what do we say?
Consensual way that you need to. What
do we say? What do we say?
About
I didn't
sister
kiss my
kissing?
sister. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't want to kiss my sister. I'm sorry. I'll give her a hug or a high five or a fist bump, though. Butt Salad says remove all items from Argath, especially his battle boots.
Battle boots are tight. Eventually I got battle boots for all my guys.
Cool.
One of the reasons why, when your characters perma-die, do you get all their gear back?
Good question. I think, but I don't know.
They're not buried in it.
Grace Wanderer says, fun fact, chemists in real life can also use guns. It's true. You ever seen a good battle alchemist?
Most people in America are allowed to use guns regardless of profession, even the ones that shouldn't.
Well, Grace Wanderer, I believe, is from Canada, so I guess the chemists?
In my game, yeah, it's a chemist. I don't know about whatever real life you're talking about, perhaps pharmacist, I'm not entirely sure.
I got confused about my
I talk to a pharmacist at work every day. I'll ask him if he open carries.
I got to go talk to the pharmacist tomorrow and say, give me my pills.
That's good. Let's pull the pharmacist, figure it out.
I need my pills. Grace Wanderer says, I just wish it was a little easier to maybe automatically gain JP from other classes, maybe by having party members who are Black Mage. All other players on the map should be able to get some residual job points.
I do wish you could kind of reallocate or respec job points or something. That seems like a modern thing that I've gotten used to from...
Like if you got a bank of them at the end of a battle and you could allocate them, that would be much better. But hey, Dill666 Row says...
Too many sixes, Chris.
Yeah. Seasonal real net name should be whoresons. Or heroes and wizards, or vulgar names. We have a lot of options for the real net.
Let the options mature a little bit before we settle on one.
Yes, there's way too many. Or we could just rotate, every single time. Say,
it's too many sound effects for me, Chris.
I'll just, beatbox it. Butt Salad, who seems to know a lot about this game, thank you, Butt Salad, says you don't get shit when they die. Great. Except maybe a randomly chosen ability that you probably already have. If you go step on their fucking crystal.
So I can't let them die because they'll have to spend more money buying new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, not doing that.
Yeah. Guess so. Bring some Phoenix Downs.
Buddy.
Throw them across the map. Thank you, RealNet, for joining us this evening. We'll see you on the next episode of Retrograde Amnesia. This episode was recorded on March 24th, 2024. Thank you, Mark Shepard, for the intro music.
You're welcome, Chris.
Again, thank you to Worldson for the podcast artwork. You can find us on Twitter at Retro Amnesia Pod, on Blue Sky at Retrograde Amnesia. Something like that, probably.
I haven't logged in months. I don't know.
Yeah, I got a Blue Sky account for myself, and I followed you, and you didn't follow me back. So I feel you.
Yep.
I figure that you probably don't go on Blue Sky.
No.
I also stopped going on Blue Sky. I did like it. It was a nice app. It had a nice, vibe. I
mean,
but
my telephone is 6 years old, and if I open some things, it wrecks the phone now. So
Yeah. Well, maybe you should do something about that. You can probably trade it in for a new one. Maybe. That would require you to
Do I want to use my phone more or less, Chris? What do you think?
It's actually a really good point. It's a really good point. Or you can go to patreon.com/retroam and give us some money, and we'll give you some episodes of some things like miniseries covering God Hand or Panzer Dragoon Saga or even Parasite Eve. Eric, until next time.
Gods be good. I don't know.
Yes, we will blame God.
Yes, we will blame God.
And now you may go back to sleep. Has anybody heard of podcasting?
Wired.
I had some good, actually, speaking of the conversation we had earlier, the McDonald's chicken sandwich, spicy chicken sandwich, was actually quite spicy for a McDonald's chicken sandwich.
Interesting. Do you think that it came pre-spiced or that there's a spicer they have to apply spice dust to it?
That's a really good question. I don't know.
Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Some more?
I'm just hanging out today. You summoned me. I'm in your house now.
Yeah, I summoned an Eric.
We finished watching Roadhouse, and now I'm here.
I'm glad that you were watching Roadhouse on a Sunday afternoon. It sounds like a good way to spend a Sunday afternoon.
It was, it was the remake, right?
There's a remake?
It was the remake of Roadhouse, starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Really?
Yeah.
When did they make that?
It came out like 2 days ago. Do you know who the villain is? This is good. Do you know who plays the villain?
I was going to say Alan Rickman, but he's dead.
No, it's not Rickman.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't have to beat up Alan Rickman. He has to beat up Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
Who is bad at acting.
I'm not surprised by that.
The movie was the correct kind of stupid. Not as stupid as the original Roadhouse, but like as stupid as you can make one of these fucking things in 2024.
Yeah. Good.
Tiffany's idea, not mine.
I think it's a good idea.
How long has it been since you've watched actual ass Roadhouse?
20 years.
You should get back into it. We watched it about a year ago. MacGruber's kind of parodied the throat rip thing, but when Swayze's restraining himself and just looking at his hand about to rip the throat, like it's an all-time dramatic moment of his exercising restraint.
They did like weird, dramatic, over-the-top dramatic stuff really well in that era, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Authentically too.
It doesn't happen anymore.
There weren't people on YouTube fucking taking apart every goddamn plot point.
Then when the guy on the MC said, "Everybody please get ready for the national anthem," everybody started getting quiet.
Yeah.
And immediately in my head, as everybody got quiet and as if primed for the national anthem, "Sweet Dreams Are Made of These" by Eurythmics.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Because I had a synth pop, like top 500 synth pop songs of all time or something playlist going.
Good running playlist.
And that came on right when they were going to play the national anthem, and I just rolled with it.
Yeah.
It was my own personal anthem.
That is a fucking sick intro too. You don't buy MP3s and obsessively sync different playlists to your phone every day by connecting it to your computer like I've done since 2007 and will continue to do until they take it from my cold dead hands.
No, Eric, I don't do that.
All right. It's a huge fucking waste of time, so good.
Beat 'em up games of yore. This time, it's the sequel to Resident Evil 4, God Hand. Excuse me, my wife is calling.
They put the guns back in.
They did?
Yeah.
My kids were uncertain on whether or not they wanted to watch E.T., and I said, just watch it until one kid calls the other kid penis breath. And they laughed. I don't know why. I think she wants to watch E.T. so we can go on E.T. the Ride and have context for E.T. the Ride.
Okay. That did psychic damage to me. But
why?
Where the fuck are you all going?
Universal Studios.
That's weird. I've been there and have no memory of E.T. You would think it would have. E.T. has to have been there for a while, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's still there or not, but I assume that she knows what she's talking about because she does all the planning.
All right.
She said, "Are you excited for the Transformers ride?" And I said, "Is it Michael Bay Transformers?" And she doesn't know what that means, but it is, I'm sure.
Why would it not be?
Interesting.
Amza checks Ramza, kind of rejecting it already.
Amza?
Anyway, Alma checks Ramza.
I was actually legitimately worried that her name was Almza in the PSP version.
They might have. Amza checks Ramza, kind of rejecting it already. Did I say Amza again?
Yes. I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to let that one go.
We're going to get this. This is like take 6. Anyway.
Man, every time I go to the wood, it's always just wonderful things like deer and bunnies and butterflies and very brightly colored birds.
Idyllic setting.
There is a pack of rather chubby squirrels that I come across a lot in my running route at the Strand.
Yeah,
and they are larger than the squirrels that you would see in the in the suburbs or whatever. And I love them.
Yeah. They eat well out there, a few predators.
Yeah. They suck up the Ross remnants for extra energy
Suck
out there.
that Ross off.
Yeah, they Ross off the...
We're getting too deep in the shit. We can't explain what Ross is again.
No, we're
Has
not.
anyone been on this podcast before? I have no idea.
I don't know. We'll cut that and put it at the end for the people, the real, the true believers, right? So I have a God Hand.
Chris, God Hand, the sequel to Resident Evil 4, Shinji Zawbag replies.
We're up to
Well, my name as well as Grip and check it out. Might be called Grid. I don't even remember.
I don't either. Anyway.
Fake Net, what's that game called I'm thinking about?
Initializing Fake Net. It's called Grip, Combat Racing.
And you can carry, and I
Have done you. I wrote That Elf Shave.
That Elf Shave? Okay.
Then That Elfus has done you.
Fuck them.
Play